I'm Mahendra Gupta, Dean of the Business School, and I'm excited to welcome all of you for our inaugural Business of Sports Summit. We have been thinking about this activity for many years, but to do these activities right, you need three things. You need a champion who is going to give us the encouragement and the support. And Joe Lacob, he stepped forward last year, and he has been looking at the program that we had developed on the business of sports, and he said that, Mahendra, we want to make this the best business of a sports program in the nation at the business school. So that was a very important accelerator in order for us to move forward. And you're going to hear from Kirk Lacob, his son, his welcome comments. Then the second was that you need to make sure that there's interest. Now, we are a college campus, so interest in the sports was not really a problem. In fact, the problem was keeping students out, not enough room in the classroom rather than not enough students in the classroom. And the third was that we needed the people who are going to make it work. And we have two great champions that you're going to hear. One is Dr. Patrick Richer, who is leading our Business of Sports program and many different capacities, and he will speak in just a couple of minutes. But the other is my colleague and partner in this crime for many years. He has been working on this experiment to bring us to this stage for the last, 6 years, Todd? 8 years. He always reminds me and then asks me that, okay, that means that he's going to get a higher bonus. And, and I say, no. But for the last 8 years, Todd has been running the course on the business of sports and developed the strong foundation on which last year we launched this minor in the area of business sports. And we are committed, as Joe Lacob had charged us, to make sure that we make this the best sports program at a business school in our nation. And with the support of Lacob's, with the champions like Patrick and Todd, and with energized community of our students and the St. Louis, we know we'll make it done. So thank you very much for coming this morning. I'll get out of the way and let people who know the sports talk, and that is Todd.
Just wait till we...
Good morning.
Yeah. You can do it as I'm talking. It's fine.
Oh, there we go. Hey, there's Patrick. Now we're mic'd up. We're in the right spot. Welcome. As Mahendra said, I'm Todd Milborn. I'm a member of the finance faculty here. I'm going to say a couple words about Kirk and have him come to the stage and sort of talk about sort of his role and his family's role in putting this together. I just want to welcome everybody here. As Mahendra said, he owes me a lot of back pay on this. This has been a long time coming. So many folks have made this thing possible to come across this, and this is such a big event than I expected it to be. I remember when Patrick brought this to me, I think it was kind of very early in the summer. I said, oh, that sounds like a nice little speaker series. We'll get a few people out. That'll be great. This thing is really steamrolled, and I'll say a couple words about Patrick when we come back up. You never get to this spot without a lot of help, so there's tons of people that have helped us along the way. Many of them are in this audience. A couple folks I want to bring special attention to. Seth Abraham. We wouldn't have this program at all if we hadn't started with Seth. Seth Abraham brought us this class for the first time, said, hey, I'd like to teach a class on sports management. Mahendra, as sporty as he looks, is not particularly sporty. And so he looked around the hallway. I caught the good fortune of just being near him at that time. He said, hey, this guy wants to teach a sports management class. Would anybody take it? I said, yes, people will take it. It's okay. Do we have anybody that can put this on? I said, well, as long as he can bring in speakers, this would be great. So I worked with Seth for 7 years on putting that course on. It was really a fantastic course, and we got to meet a lot of people to get things going. I also want to thank Steve Horowitz, who is a father of a senior. Is Jake out here somewhere? He's maybe out here in the hallway. He's probably still sleeping. It's 8:30. His son's a senior across the board. Steve has made tireless efforts in really bringing this program together. He's spoke to my class, I think, 3 of the 8 years. He's come into campus at least a couple times each and every year. Takes phone calls. He will help students get up interviews and things. So unfortunately, we couldn't get him here today, but I certainly want to give him a special thank you. So with that, I want to introduce Kirk Lacob. Kirk and I started working on this thing, I want to say about 2.5 years ago. And he really kept pushing me and driving me. You could see his GM skills coming in from there, that if I was lagging, he would make sure that let me know that I was going to be cut. So that was a good, it was a good incentive device. Kirk had a younger brother that was here, so he'd occasionally come in and visit him to give his brother some trouble while he was graduating. But Kirk right now is the assistant GM for the Golden State Warriors. He's been with them since 2010. We went back and forth so many times in trying to put together this minor, which we rolled out now over a year ago, the minor in the business of sports, of really making sure we understood a key fundamental, which was this wasn't a sports management program. We're not just going to talk about sports marketing. We're not just going to do the things that seem fun. Is to come in and say, hey, all of these teams, these venues and companies that work in the area of entertainment and sports across the board need solid business fundamentals. And so that was really a core organizing principle as we put this minor together. Make sure you're not coming out in sports management. We very carefully selected that title. This is the business of sports. And so we want to make sure that we have the sound business fundamentals. That part was easy because we are a world-class institution. I think we should be #1 for our undergraduate program. I teach them. I can definitely attest to that. So we have those fundamentals from there, but then to come in and say, now what are the special applications and sort of the special things that we need to think about when you move into a sports capacity? So I want to please join me in welcoming Kirk to the stage to say a few words. Thanks, bud. Appreciate it.
Well, special thanks to Dean Gupta and Todd and Patrick as well. As Todd mentioned, we've been working on this for a few years. And timing is an amazing thing. I get to stand here before you today. And we won the NBA championship this past year. So it's very, very special that I get to come to you now after that. I guess it makes us look a lot better. But I'm not my dad. I wish he could make it. He wishes he could make it here today. I am a little taller and I have a little bit more hair. I can tease him because he's not here. He will have a special message for you guys later today. But if you've ever heard him speak before, and he says this pretty much everywhere he goes, he never uses the word good. He only uses the word great or excellent. And that's what we're about. We're about building something great here. It's what he said about the Warriors 5 years ago, and we were able to do it. That's what we're about building here at WashU. It's a very special place, really, really, really special place. My brother had a fantastic 4 years here. I actually almost ended up here, if not for Stanford bullying their way in. But the further back part of the story is that my dad, and he hates it when I mention this, but he applied to 47 medical schools over 2 years. And he didn't get into any of them, but one of them did waitlist him, and that was Washington University. So it holds a special place in the heart of my entire family. So I don't need to stand up here much more, but today it looks like an amazing day. I'm really, really excited to be a part of it. And again, thanks to everybody for helping bring it all together. And we'll make something great here over the next few years. So thank you. Have a great day. Todd, come back up.
Thanks, bud. Thank you, Kirk. I want to introduce Dr. Patrick Risch. I had been working on Patrick for a little over 1.5 years prior to getting to hire him, to get him to come in. We had a great idea, we had a great product, but we needed someone that could actually run the play, who was going to come in with the passion, the experience, and the background, and the bandwidth to come in and say, this is what we want you to build from here. Here's what we have. Here are the people that have put this thing together. Now make this thing freaking fantastic. So I'm delighted that Dr. Patrick Risch has joined us today. He has put this thing on. He's organized. He's put the calls on with a whole bunch of help. He'll talk about those people from there. He's teaching some economics courses for us. He's a trained economist, but he's spent his career from a research standpoint, understanding sports economics issues, works from a consulting standpoint, and has taught extensively in the business of sports for some period of time. So I want to invite Patrick to the stage.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. So I was listening to Kurt speak. Now, Seth Curry played his college basketball where? Davidson College. Now, I attended UNC Charlotte, which was just down the road from Davidson. And Davidson's a superior academic institution compared to Charlotte. Charlotte at the time was better at basketball. So when Charlotte would go and play Davidson and beat Davidson, of course I went to school well before Seth got there, the Davidson kids always had a great cheer. That's all right, that's okay, you're going to work for us one day. As Mahendra, Todd, and Kurt said, thank you so much for being here today. I wanted to, again, echo the sentiments of special thanks to the Lacob family for helping us put on events such as this, and we'll have more to announce here in just a little bit. Also to all the friends of the Olin School who have contributed to the development. You heard Todd mention two names in particular, Seth Abraham and Steve Horowitz. So I want to echo those regards to those individuals and all others that have contributed to the program. I want to also thank, personally, Deans Gupta, Milbourne, Kurt Dirks, and Steve Malter. I see him in the back. If not for each of you, I wouldn't be here. And I'm absolutely thrilled to be here. This is a career-altering experience for me to be part of a top 15 university and a top 5 undergraduate business program. So thank you to each of those gentlemen for having me here. I think we should all stop and give a round of applause to Jen Schmeek. Jen arranged the travel arrangements for everyone here, so Jen's out in the hall still working, so thank you to Jen, as well as Jacqueline Blankenship, working on some of the logistics for this room, Gabe Watson helping with the marketing for this event, and also to the student clubs. We have 2 student clubs in the sports business program with Osmo and Sports Analytics. They both contributed to some of the questions that we're going to be putting out later today. For those of you that are following on social media, want to say a few things on Twitter about what you see today, you certainly can do so on Twitter, the hashtag OlinSportsBiz15. And if you want to send me some questions or comments, hopefully not about my hairline, that's at @DrPatSportsBiz. Briefly, placement success. We've actually already seen some placement success. We've got graduates coming in here later this year. We've had WashU alum have secured positions with places like the Golden State Warriors, Wasserman Media Group, the NBA's league headquarters, and the Phoenix Suns, just to name a few organizations. And this semester, when I started teaching a sports business class, I asked my students, how many of you had internships last year? And Connie, you raised your hand with Golden State Warriors. I know Erin, she's in here somewhere with Manchester United, I believe last spring. We've had other students with the Tampa Bay Lightning, Chicago Fire, Chicago Bears, and so on and so forth. So we've had several people, and Ben Gumpert, there you are. Jesse, one of my students, was intern for the Kings last summer. So we've already had some successes, and we look to add to that. That's the reason why we're having an event such as this. I want to announce also 2 particular things. Our speaker series, and we will probably add to this 1 or 2 names, including potentially Joe later this year, our 2015-16 Lacob Sports Speaker Series. John and Doug, you may have to help me with the pronunciation here. Is it Shreve? John Shreve with Populous, sports architecture firm, used to be HOK Sport in Kansas City. He'll be coming in. Anthony Perez, a friend of mine who is in business development with the Orlando Magic. I've seen Anthony present several times at the MIT Sports Analytics Conference. And then 2 WashU graduates, Pedro Bonilla with Wasserman Media Group, talking about specifically marketing to Hispanics in sports. Pedro will come in February, and then Ken Borkin, who's come in a few times for us in the past, both for Todd's class and also for Osmo. He's an analytics guy, WashU graduate with the Phoenix Suns. The other announcement is that, again, thanks to Todd's work, Kurt's work, we are going to be offering a sports analytics class in Spring A 7-week mini course, and very excited to be teaching that and also bring in some special guests to help. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our first panel who will make their way to the stage as we list their names.